Hello and welcome to this week's show. Thanks so much for joining us today. I'm your host Trey Winowitz and you're watching Right on the Money. Our goal for the show is to always equip you, the viewer, with accurate financial information so you can make educated decisions for both you and your family. Now we've got a great show lined up for you today, so thanks for watching. We're going to be tackling some difficult financial questions, and we want to take some things that could be somewhat complicated and make them simple and easy to understand. So come on in and have some fun with us today.
In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, Trey Winowitz was forced to move himself and his family over 600 miles north and begin his financial planning practice again, from scratch. Since then, Winowitz Financial has become a national success story, establishing itself as a trusted source for financial advice in and around East Tennessee. In return, Trey gives back to the community by sponsoring monthly educational workshops and annual charity events. He also hosts a weekly radio show informing and entertaining those in need of financial advice. So, if you'd like to understand more about today's challenging financial environment, if you'd like to overcome your current financial situation, and want to learn from someone with a track record of overcoming, stay tuned for some trusted financial advice that's right on the money.
Now let's get to today's main topic, the retirement planning checklist. Today we're going to be talking about how to plan for your upcoming retirement. Or, if you've recently retired, a few things you may want to consider for the second half of your life. We're going to be working through our retirement planning checklist. In fact, over the next two shows, we're actually going to be taking a look at a 20-point checklist. So be sure to have your pen and paper ready so you can jot down some much-needed notes. Today, we're going to cover the first 10. Then catch us again next week for the rest of the retirement planning checklist. By the way, we'd be happy to get you a copy of the list if you'll call us at the office. We can fax it, email it, or send it to you by regular mail. So just let us know if we can get you a copy. Just like in sports, a lot of times the game plan that you start with for the first half of the game has to be adjusted after halftime based on what the other team is doing and what happened in the first half. Looking at the facts, not just what you thought would happen. Well, believe it or not, your retirement plan is the exact same way. Sometimes your life changes down the road, like when you get to retirement, and the strategies that you planned on using may not be the best solution when you look at how circumstances have changed or what the economy is doing. At Winowitz Financial, we want to help make sure that you've got the best game plan possible in place for your retirement. And we've got a lot of things that you want to consider when you're nearing retirement or already in retirement. So let's take a look today at the first two items on our list before the next break. Number one, we want you to reduce or eliminate debt. According to the Federal Reserve study for consumer finances, about 50% of households headed by someone of the age 55 to 64 actually carry credit card debt. 37% of households headed by someone 65 to 74 years old carry credit card debt. And in 1991, people 55 and older accounted for almost 8% of bankruptcy filings. In 2007, the number had risen to almost 22%. This is one reason I have a mortgage company in-house, to help clients consolidate their debt when it makes sense and come up with a plan to pay off their debt sooner. Mortgage rates are still very low. Give me a call at the office and make sure that you ask about the friends and family discount on closing cost. The second thing on the retirement planning checklist is to create an emergency cash reserve. The rule of thumb is generally about 6 to 9 months of expenses, or even more if you're in retirement. You always want to shop for the highest rates on the money, but you want to make sure that it's always available to take out without penalty because it's for emergencies. Now, where do you put it? You could use anything from a money market, savings account, checking account, and some of our clients even use some municipal bond accounts, paying some reasonable returns. But everyone's different, so you should meet with a qualified financial professional to figure out what's best for you. Now we're going to take a quick break. After the break, join us for the rest of the items on the retirement planning checklist. I'll see you in just a second.
For the last few years, it's been harder to make a consistent return on your money. Are you paying too many fees? Could you get cheaper life insurance rates? Could you pay less taxes? Join the hundreds of others that have dramatically saved money using a free fee analysis. That means you've got to make sure your money is working efficiently for you. Call Winowitz Financial today, 691-2433. That's 691-2433, and start saving money today.
Welcome back to Right on the Money. I'm Trey Winowitz, and today we're talking about the retirement planning checklist. We're going through a 20-point retirement planning checklist. It's an important list of things that you need to check into as you plan and navigate retirement. Please give me a call at the office, and we'll be happy to give you your copy of this retirement planning checklist. Now let's take a look at the next couple of items on our list. After eliminating debt and creating emergency fund, number 3 is you should consider for applying for financing, such as a home equity line of credit. Now, even if you don't need it, go ahead and qualify while you can. It's more difficult to qualify for these types of loans after you're retired because of the lack of income. This could be a great tool for you to use in case of a temporary emergency. Number 4 is determine when you should retire in order to maximize your employer's benefits before you leave your employment. Now, what's the best day? Should you wait until the end of the year? Does it really even matter? Why don't you get an independent review from a financial advisor and figure out that situation for you? Here at Right on the Money, we'll always volunteer to be your trusted second opinion. Next on the retirement planning checklist is number 5, evaluate your pension plan options if you have a pension plan available. Now here you want to get an independent review as well and determine if you want to take a lump sum for your pension and manage it yourself or take an annuity from the employer. Now what I've found is sometimes retirement plans pay much less than what you can get on the open market for an independent annuity. You may actually be able to find another product which gives you a whole lot more control of your money for you and your family. Sometimes it can even build in death benefits or even some long-term care benefits associated with those products. Now as a sidebar, Winowitz Financial can actually help your company that has a 401k but doesn't have a pension plan. We can help you add a pension plan option to your plan without a big headache. Give me a call at the office and schedule a meeting between you and maybe someone in your HR department. There's some new options for employers. They're using them now to retain and recruit new employees. You have the ability with our help to offer a defined benefit option in your existing 401k plan. This is a huge benefit to your employees. Give me a call and we can talk about it. You'll thank me later. Next on the retirement planning checklist is number 6, calculate how long your money will last. Think about the lifestyle that you want to live during retirement. Control your spending. There's a lot of game left. Sometimes the most important things happen in this phase of life. You have to budget your expenses, travel, lifestyle, and other hobbies. Have an independent advisor show you all of your options and then make sure you evaluate some guaranteed options for your income to maximize your payments. Number 7 is you need to inform your property and casualty agent that you're retired. Sometimes your rates will actually go down. Insurance premiums on cars, homeowners, etc. You may be able to also adjust your deductibles to make sure you're getting your money's worth. This is all part of a comprehensive planning process. You also may want to double check your life insurance rates. As you know, people are living longer. Insurance companies base the rates on what actuaries have found. They also make changes in rates that sometimes take a while to affect policies. Your policy may be a little bit outdated and you might be able to get the same amount of coverage for a lesser rate, which basically equals you getting more retirement income. Now, after this break, we're going to cover numbers 8 through 10 on the retirement planning checklist, so stick around for more advice that's right on the money.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With principal protection, reasonable returns, simplicity and safety, Call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
Thanks for joining us on Right on the Money. I'm your host, Trey Winowitz, and today we're talking about retirement planning. We're also going over our 20-point retirement planning checklist. If you've missed any part of the show, be sure you visit my website at treyw.tv to watch what you've missed. There you'll also find a wealth of resources and information to make you a more informed consumer. Wrapping up the first half of the retirement planning checklist, number 8 is decide if you should roll over your 401k. Now this could also be a 403b, TSA, etc., into a self-directed IRA. This is a great point. You'll usually gain more control and have more options for investing when you're investing in an individual IRA. More importantly, you also may be able to reduce or eliminate fees associated with your account. Please give me a call if you haven't rolled over your 401k yet. We've got some wonderful no-fee alternatives that you may like. Number 9 is to review your Social Security statement to ensure that all your reported income was reported accurately. I can't tell you how many times folks have come into the office for a comprehensive review, and when we look over their statements, they realize this is not correct. Well, when we do an analysis of that, guess what happens to their benefit? It goes up. So it's very important to make sure you've gotten credit for all hours worked. Make sure you get anything that's inconsistent looked at and corrected. The last one we have time to cover for today's show is number 10. Determine when you should apply for Social Security benefits. The best thing that you can do is to bring your statement in to an independent advisor, have them analyze how you can maximize your benefit payment. Sometimes it's actually a good strategy to come up with a way to receive Social Security benefits at a later date or even beyond maximum retirement age. Did you know that you could make even 7 or 8% interest compounded more benefit by postponing these income payments? If we can take your income and make it sustainable from other assets for a few years, maybe we can prolong or postpone your Social Security benefits so that you get a higher lifetime payment. Guess who else is going to benefit from these things? Your spouse and your children. Okay, so now we've listed half of the 20 items on our 20-point retirement planning checklist. Make sure you give us a call at the office. You can get your own copy and use it to make an educated financial decision about your own retirement. After the break, we're going to move into one of my favorite segments, Money Matters. This is where you hear from people just like you who benefited from a no-cost financial second opinion. Stay tuned and I'll see you after the break.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With principal protection, reasonable returns, simplicity and safety, call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
Now that we're back, I'd like to tell you about some real-life folks that you may can relate to, because it never hurts to have an extra pair of objective eyes take a look at your situation and see what can be improved. Even if strategies that you're using can't be improved on, sometimes people say it's a huge comfort when I tell them that what they're doing is working well, or maybe they should continue on the same path. However, in some cases we discover that some of the products or strategies they thought worked in a certain way actually don't. And sometimes not getting a second opinion can be very costly. If you want to be a part of this Money Matters segment, please give us a call at the office for a complimentary review. As you'll see, everything's kept confidential, but your situation may help some of our other viewers secure their financial future. So give me a call and maybe your case will get picked for the show. I want to take a second to introduce you to a few people who came in the office recently for a no obligation second opinion, just to be sure. And these people were glad that they did. So let's take a look at this week's case. Hey Janet, can you bring me my notes? Thanks. All right. Today's case study comes from Maryville, Tennessee. 47-year-old husband worked at the DOE, and 44-year-old wife, stay-at-home mom. They have 2 kids in college. Both of these folks called in for a meeting after listening to our radio show and have watched a couple of the television shows just like yourself as well. Main concerns. When they came in, they were wondering if they really needed a will. They also had money from an inheritance that they weren't really sure what to do with. It had been sitting in the bank for a little while. And the husband had had an old 401k from a previous employer he wasn't exactly sure what he should do with. So the steps to success. What we did with these folks, like many, is we shopped around with multiple A-rated carriers for insurance coverage to make sure that they had the best deal, the longest guarantees for the cheapest cost. Next, we got them in touch with our trusted attorney about their will. I'm not an attorney, but we have some very trusted attorneys that have been in the business for a long time. If you have questions about a will, that'd be a great place to start. We also compared their investment choices with his old 401k, and we learned that there were probably some better alternatives for some safer things going forward. The results. We actually were able to shop around and find the husband new life insurance. It was about $400 a year cheaper, so that allowed him to get a little bit more money every month he could put into his 401k, achieve the match with his new employer. The other thing is we did help them introduce them to a trusted attorney. They got a basic will in force, which really is a good thing and protected them and their family. And lastly, we had some great no-fee IRA options for his old 401k. We were able to add some guarantees to the plan, some income riders and things so that when they do get ready to retire, they'll be able to retire safely and securely with some money that they can depend on for the rest of their lives. Give us a call today for a complimentary review, and if your scenario gets picked for the show, you're going to receive a Right on the Money prize pack. But most of all, we want to help you. Coming up next, another opportunity for you to be a part of the show. Post it on our Facebook, tweet us, or email us your financial questions, and stick around for the viewer mail section.
For the last few years, it's been harder to make a consistent return on your money. Are you paying too many fees? Could you get cheaper life insurance rates? Could you pay less taxes? Join the hundreds of others that have dramatically saved money using a free fee analysis. That means you've got to make sure your money is working efficiently for you. Call Winowitz Financial today, 691-2433. That's 691-2433, and start saving money today.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With principal protection, reasonable returns, simplicity and safety, call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
Welcome back to Right on the Money. I'm your host, Trey Winowitz, and it's time for you, the viewer, to be an integral part of this show, Viewer Mail. This is the part of the show where you send us your questions about anything financial. In order to get your questions to me, you can post them on our Facebook page, tweet your question to me at TreyWTV, or email them to me at advice@TreyWTV. If your question happens to get answered for the show, you'll receive a Right on the Money prize pack just for your willingness to help out our other viewers. This package has a retail value of over $50, so please don't stop sending us those questions. Our first viewer mail question today is, I'm looking into refinancing my mortgage and the rate the bank is quoting me is higher than rates I see on the internet. What should I do? Well, you know, like any other financial instrument you purchase, with a mortgage you want to make sure that you look at all your options before making a move. Most of the time, the rate is also dependent on credit and other factors. Since you'll probably have that mortgage for a long time, you don't want to make a bad decision. Now, without knowing a little bit more about the details of your situation, I can't really make a true recommendation, but traditionally you can get a more well-rounded opinion from an independent mortgage professional. And our next question is, I need a new car. A local car dealership is telling me I can lease a car for around $200 a month. This sounds like a great deal. Should I do it? Well, you know, I'd have to say first off, you might be better suited at looking at a less expensive car and just purchase it. That way you would actually own an asset, although a depreciating one. There are some situations that leases are appropriate, but most of the time they're in a business context where they'd have some tax deductions available. The positive things about a lease for you would be you'd probably end up with a newer car with very little maintenance problems, but you always want to look at your options completely and compare them before doing anything. Buying a car can turn into a very emotional decision, and if at all possible, you want to take steps to prevent that. The last question we have time for today is this: how much money can I put in an IRA? Well, like a lot of tax questions, it depends. It depends on the rules, your age, it also depends on your income. But assuming you can contribute, meaning you have earned income, if you're under 50 years old, you can put in $5,000. Over 50, you can put in $6,000. Then you want to look for a low cost or a no fee account that's protected and predictable. There are also some types of IRAs for people who are self-employed or small business owners, and these tend to let you put a little bit more money in. Give me a call at the office. I can show you some of the more popular ones that our clients use that have no fees or cost. We also have some CPAs that work with us during tax season, so just let me know if you need their help. Thanks a lot for that question. Stick around after this short break for Right on the Street. See what some local people just like you think about the stock market and other financial topics. You may actually see someone that you know.
For the last few years, it's been harder to make a consistent return on your money. Are you paying too many fees? Could you get cheaper life insurance rates? Could you pay less taxes? Join the hundreds of others that have dramatically saved money using a free fee analysis. That means you've got to make sure your money is working efficiently for you. Call Winowitz Financial today, 691-2433. That's 691-2433, and start saving money today.
Are you planning for retirement? Which path should you take? How can you avoid mistakes? What about a second opinion? Get sound advice for today's market. Make sure your future is secure. With principal protection, reasonable returns, simplicity and safety, call Winowitz Financial today to schedule your complimentary financial review at 865-691-2433.
And we're back. This is Right on the Money, and I'm Trey Winowitz. See what some local people just like you think about the stock market and other financial topics. You may actually see someone that you know. When should someone start thinking about retirement?
Maybe when they turn like 75 or 60.
Okay.
Somewhere around in there.
What should someone be thinking about before they retire?
Well, I guess if they could get their home paid off, to get as much, to have as few monthly payments as they have to have.
As far as retirement, I heard that you retired recently.
Yes, I did.
What did you retire from?
From retail.
Okay, how long did you work in retail?
I was 5 years in retail.
Okay, and did you enjoy it?
No.
How much money does somebody need to retire?
For how many days? How old are they? Where do they live? You can live in a simple way. You could live in Knoxville. I wouldn't know. Out where we live, it takes a lot less.
Okay. As far as retirement, what are some of your fears about retirement?
Well, I guess my biggest thing is monetary.
Okay.
You know, I'm on Social Security, and I'm getting a decent amount. But with the way the prices keep going up, and the cost of gas, and everything goes up, I'm just concerned that I'll be able to live a fun life. I want to have fun now. I'm out of the job. I'm free. I can do what I want when I want.
Right.
And I want to be able to do that. I don't want to have to sit at home because I don't have any money.
Typical age is what, 65, but then also with, I guess where you are currently financially, do you have enough money saved up for typical expenses for the remainder of 20 years?
How much money does somebody need in order to retire?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is.
That's the tricky question.
All right. Do you have a retirement plan?
We do.
Okay. What's your favorite thing about your retirement plan? Or do you have a feature of it that you like?
No.
Okay. No?
I do not. No,
Okay.
that could be improved.
What's your least favorite thing about it?
The fact it's growth.
Okay. And when should someone, in your opinion, start seeking some advice concerning retirement planning?
Oh, the sooner the better.
I
The
agree.
earlier you start, the better off you'll be.
Well, this particular area that I was in was luxury items.
Okay.
Women's purses and leather goods. and we didn't suffer a whole hell of a lot.
Really?
I mean, it
So
just,
people, the economy's bad, people still buy a nice purse?
right.
I don't understand the concept of retirement because
Right.
we're self-employed and we work on a different plane. But you know what? I think retirement's a mistake. I think what you should do is move on to doing something you enjoy and still try to make money from it.
What's the least favorite feature of your retirement plan right now?
That it takes so much time to manage it. It's like a full-time job.
Okay. What words of wisdom would you give for someone that's trying to plan for retirement?
Put some money back, try to plan ahead of time what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and know where you're going and where you want to be.
Hey, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And we're back. This is Right on the Money, and I'm Trey Winowitz. We're just getting ready to wrap up the show, but before we go, I'd like to tell you about an old Louisiana tradition called lagniappe. Lagniappe means to give someone a little something extra, and the way that we want to do that here at Right on the Money is to brighten your day at the end of our show. So with that, here's a little lagniappe for you. So if you're single out there, you may want to listen to this. A man recently found out that his elderly father would be passing away in a few years and leaving him a very large inheritance. He had been feeling lately that it's time to go find someone to settle down with, so he decides to use this new information to leverage the dating market. He goes out to the local hangout, looks around the room, and locks eyes with a stunning blonde. Probably out of his league, but he walks up to her anyway with a boost of confidence and says, "Hey, I may not look like much now, but in a few years my dad's going to pass away and I'm going to inherit millions. You want to go out to dinner sometime?" She was very interested and got his name and number. The problem is, a few weeks later, she became his stepmom. And that, my friends, is a little lagniappe for today. I want to personally thank you for watching our show today. I hope you found our show helpful as well as a little bit entertaining. If there's anything at all I can help you with financially, please don't hesitate to call our office. And remember, any plan that we come up with will always have three main goals for your money. Safety first, or protection of your principal, is always number one. Making a reasonable return on your money in what some would consider an unreasonable market. And number three, keeping your plan simple and easy to understand. If that sounds like something you want, I know I can help you. Also, please keep the financial questions coming. We'll do our best to get them answered on the show. I'll see you next week at 3 o'clock for more trusted advice that's right on the money.